Hey guys, welcome to Pearland Hooters. We are Locked on Astros, your daily Astros podcast. We've got Randy McElvoy from KPRC Channel 2 on live with us. We're going to talk about the series, the final series that will hopefully push the Astros into the playoffs and go after another World Series title on this edition of Locked on Astros.
Alvarez hits a high drive center field.
Hello and welcome to Locked on Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Heisman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chansey.
We are Locked on Houston Astros. We hope that you join us for a daily Locked on Astros podcast. My name is Eric Heisman. Find me on Twitter at Eric Talks Astros. Find the show at Locked on Astros. Your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive. I love hanging out with computers. Always Stros.
All right, Brett, go and introduce our special guest.
Yeah, we got Randy McElvoy. He is a veteran in the sportscasting world in Houston. He's known for his Friday Night Lights and covering so many Astros playoff games. Randy, welcome to the show. Say hi to everyone.
Hey guys, how are you? Hello, I'm in Cy-Fair tonight for the Friday football frenzy, but keeping an eye on the Astros for sure here in a little while.
All right, yeah, this is such a big game tonight. The Astros are trying to look to clinch playoff. If the Mariners lose tonight and if the Astros win tonight, we could see them clinch as soon as tonight. And there's some news that we do need to talk about, the fact that JP France is no longer starting this game. It's going to be Jose Urquidy instead. There's some personal issues that's going on with JP France's family, but Jose Urquidy has pitched in these big games before. So what do you think that he's going to do in this situation?
Well, I mean, I hope experience takes over for Jose Urquidy. He hasn't been lights out the past several starts and several outings. I'm a little concerned about that. I was having a conversation today on a Zoom with Steve Sparks, who everybody knows as the radio analyst for Astros Radio. And he and I were talking about Urquidy, and he's been in these big games before. This is not the playoffs, but it's a playoff-type feeling in these games. And he needs to answer the call. It's last minute. Maybe that's good that he hasn't had a lot of time to think about this start, and he could just jump out there and attack this Diamondback lineup. But it is a good lineup. They're facing an excellent pitcher. So it's going to be an uphill battle tonight, but he's got to be careful. He's got to keep these guys off the bases. The Diamondbacks, when they're on the bases, they steal bases, and it's going to be critical that he gets these leadoff guys, out to start innings and not get in trouble with his control because they have a pretty good success rate. And as Steve pointed out too, he has a problem. Once he gets two strikes on guys, it has not been good lately. And he's got to find a way to get these guys out, let his defense take over.
Yeah, I agree with that. The Astros obviously play a lot better on the road. They showed a lot of fight, a lot of vigor in Seattle, and really won in a big way, really made a statement after the second game just seemed to be deflating. And you don't want to put the Mariners on a kind of like drive where they are just motivated. They came back last night and they had a walk-off win against Texas, and so they're motivated. Best case scenario, if the Astros can come out and sweep like Dana Brown talked about him wanting them to do, and if the Mariners can come out and sweep, the Astros win the division because they have a better record than the Mariners at that point. They have the tiebreaker with the Rangers anyways, and they win the AL West. I talked last night with Mike Stant from AT&T Sports, and he said, I think the best seed is the 6th seed because that gives you, not that you take Minnesota lightly, but you would probably rather face Minnesota than Texas than Tampa or Toronto and someone like the Baltimore Orioles who just won their 100th game. But I just think the Astros have before them a task. This is a battle-tested team, but they have never been tested in this way. But if there's any team that can find it within themselves to beat up on a young team, on a team that's also fighting for a playoff spot, it is the Houston Astros.
Yeah, excellent points right there. This is when the pressure kind of mounts. This is new for the Arizona Diamondbacks. They're right in the middle of a race as well themselves, so they're playing for their playoff lives and trying to nail down a wild card spot as well. So these are really big games for them, but it's new territory for Arizona. And the point you made there, this is where the experience, they've been battle tested. The Astros is who I'm talking about over the last several years. This is when you need your superstars, guys, in the lineup to come through. You need Jordan to swing the bat. Kyle Tucker. You need Alex Bregman to really get going. He has been struggling. And I know there's nobody more disappointed in September than Alex Bregman has been. And because this guy's a grinder and he wants to deliver. And they need to see that this weekend against Arizona.
I know we don't have a lot of time with you, Randy, but I do want to kind of address the elephant in the room, and that's the fact that Dana Brown kind of said today, well, we want to put our best offensive lineup out there, but Dusty Baker's the one that's making that decision. I'm not. So is that typical of what a GM would say? Like, that's his job, not my job? Or is that him frustrated with maybe Baker not playing the players that should be playing every day?
Yeah, I heard those comments too. I sensed a little bit of frustration, but every setup's different with every club. I mean, when Jeff Luna was here, he and AJ Hinch, from my understanding, really worked hand in hand to make sure the lineup, and he had input. I think it all ultimately falls on the manager to do it. But I sensed a little bit of frustration, but Dana doesn't really show all his cards. And he also gave a shout out to Dusty that this guy's been around baseball forever and you got to trust his instincts. But you guys follow just like I do. There's been some head scratching moments at times this season with like, wait a minute, what lineup is this? But it was a strong hint, I think, from Dana. Like, you got to have your best hitters out there. And I've been busy with high school tonight. I've not seen the lineup. I hope Chas McCormick's in the lineup. Is he? Okay. And then I hope Yainer Diaz is in the lineup. I don't know if he is or not, but I don't know, man. Yainer's done about everything you can ask. You got to find a place for him somewhere. So
yeah,
I've been
Randy, to speak to that, we have our lineup is Altuve, Bregman, Alvarez, Tucker, Abreu, Brantley, McCormick, Pena, Maldonado. Now, I think originally it was Diaz with France, but when France was scratched. But I'm going to ask you this, Randy, because you are in the locker room. I know you've been there when we've when they've had rehab starts there in AAA. I know you and I talked to Alex Bregman at Canes a few weeks ago. Got to get inside his head. But the pulse of this club, from the outside looking in, there's been a lot of talk as to what's going on, at home versus on the road. With your experience in the clubhouse, with your experience with these players on a daily basis, how are they carrying themselves? How do they carry themselves when they get swept by a team like the A's? And do they still have the mindset that they're determined, they're the Astros, and they're still the champs?
Yeah, I mean, I sense they do, but I also sense the frustration of just blown opportunities because we all know if they would have taken care of business, I'm not saying sweep, but at least win series against Oakland and Kansas City, we wouldn't be sitting in this position right now. They would have already clinched something by now, whether the title or at least a wild card. I honestly, I don't know if they know the answer to the problems at home. It's a very puzzling situation at home. I know they got the batter's eye. That became a factor a couple of weeks ago. That was kind of out of left field, technically. And I don't know. It's a puzzling question. Like, I mean, why are you so dominant on the road? You're relaxed. Maybe it's because everybody's against you and you're just used to it, and it brings you up a level. But how they are not a little bit over 500, if not way over 500 home, I have no answer for it. They also play down the competition. They've been known to do that a few times, and I think we saw that over the past few times here during the month of September. The home problems, puzzling. I have no answer. They kind of just say, hey, we'll get it going. That's the answers we got. We'll get it going. We're the Astros. We've been there before. and it just didn't happen. I am concerned, though, if they do make it to the playoffs and get some home games, it's going to be a factor. I don't think all of a sudden they're just going to turn it on at home. I hope so, but I don't think that's going to happen.
To kind of go off of what we've been talking about with Dusty Baker, hopefully with the backs against the wall, especially in a 3-game wildcard series, hopefully he does go out there and put his best offense out there. Does that mean Yainer Diaz is going to be catching? We don't know. But if I ask you, Randy, which non-star do you think is going to go out there and have a postseason, maybe not as good as Jeremy Pena did last year, but which guy would you think would go out there and just be a star for the Astros this postseason like Jeremy Pena was?
You talking about outside the obvious guys that we would count on? I'm going to go, if he's healthy and in the lineup, I'm going to go Chas McCormick. I'm just a big Chas McCormick fan, and he showed all this or most of this season. He's a big game guy. I mean, I think we're going to get numbers out of Tucker, Altuve, those guys, and hopefully Bregman as well. I'm going to go and throw Jose Abreu out there, although because of what he's not done this season, his numbers are down. He's a guy that, hey, if he can get hot in the postseason, man, that would be really nice. If they're going to play him every day, which I'm sure they will. And then, man, if Brantley's out there, I mean, how can you not pull for that guy? It's just a matter of how his shoulder hangs in there and how often he can play. It was good to see him back in the lineup, though, the other night.
You know, I absolutely love Brantley because I feel like even if he had one hand tied behind his back, he could still get 3 doubles and a single. I mean, this guy's a professional hitter. He probably hits, like in his sleep, he probably hits home runs.
Kind of like Moises alluded.
Yeah. Let's not put that on him, Ricky Bobby. But look, I like you. I like the direction you're going with Jose Abreu because he has every reason for the fans to be critical of him. The fans are like, we signed him with all this money. But if you look at his numbers with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, he's like, I think he's like 8th in the league this year. And he had the most RBIs this last month out of the team. So he's been hitting better. And this guy's going to taste the playoffs, hopefully for the first time. Well, not for the first time, but for the first time he'll be with a club that can really make a solid run into the postseason, deep into the postseason. And I really think that right there is huge for him. And, you know, I look for guys like J.P. France when he's in there to step up big time because, you know, J.P. France has been the one constant on this pitching staff. You know, you had Javier, who was the preseason Cy Young candidate for MLB.com. You have Framber Valdez, who is the ace. We lost Justin Verlander. Verlander comes back. Hunter Brown has been really underwhelming for the most part. He's had brilliant starts, and he's been complete opposite of brilliant. And I think Hunter Brown finds his stride next year. But J.P. France really – I hate that he's not in the game tonight because of a family emergency, but I think when this guy comes back, and hopefully he comes back sooner rather than later, and everything is okay, because we all know that life is more important than baseball. I mean, this is just a game. Right. But if he's able to come in and contribute, and they get in that postseason run, he could be a guy that we talk about was a key playoff contributor as a rookie.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and hopefully everything's okay on his front, and it can get him back. He's been if you look at one of the great storylines, if you were to pick 3 storylines of this Astros season, he's one of them. Just imagine if without what J.P. France was able to deliver this season, look where they'd be right now. They'd probably be getting ready to start their vacation plans. I don't know what he ended up record-wise, double-digit wins, obviously. Man, he's been a great story out of nowhere. And you can't help but pull for him. They do need him in the postseason if they can get there. And you mentioned he's out, so is Ryan Stanek out. I think I heard he's going to be out at least tonight with I think his wife's having a baby or something. And yeah, I mean, those are some guys they're going to count on. There's no doubt from the pitching side, and then from the sticks, man, the bats. Besides the obvious, I'm a big Chas McCormick fan. I love the way he approaches the game in the box and defensively as well. And he's one of those guys that, to me at least, when you get to the postseason, this is based on last year. You can just get that feeling, man. When it's postseason, Chaz is going to show up in some form, and hopefully he does some damage tonight.
I know that the Twins don't necessarily have the best history in the playoffs recently, and I know the Astros still have to make the playoffs, but from the outside looking in, is this a different Twins team than we faced last time?
Yeah, and I don't know top to bottom a lot about the Twins, to be honest with you, but yeah, I mean they've filled some holes. They've also got some guys back. It's just a more experienced team in some areas. They got some hitters. They got some power too. So Astros would go in and people would say, oh, they're going to walk. It's the Twins. They only won 80 whatever games. Twins are a pretty scrappy team, and they're playing pretty good ball last I checked down the stretch here. And I'm not sure a lot about their rotation, but but you go on the road, and Astros are not going to be lacking confidence, that's for sure. I think people don't want the Astros to get the postseason. I mean, as much as they've struggled a little bit late, they're still made for the postseason. And when they get to the postseason, these guys just are ready. They ramp it up a notch. They've been in the big games. They've won it all. If I'm an opponent, I don't want to play the Astros in the postseason. I don't know about you guys, but doesn't mean it's going to be a cakewalk by any stretch. I think this is just one of those years where they're going to have to scratch and claw their way. Just, they are talented. This is a deep lineup, but we've been spoiled the last few years with these guys running away with things in the AL West and locking it up a couple of weeks out or a week out or whatever. And a little bit different, a little bit more pressure, but this team's kind of built to thrive when the pressure's at its greatest, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And, we would be facing an old, friend of ours in Carlos Correa. So that would be definitely going to be an interesting, dramatic twist. Randy, we want to thank you for stopping by. We know you're busy with your Friday Night Lights, your Friday Night Frenzy, checking out the local high school talent, which this town here in Pearland is not short of. They actually have their homecoming tonight. They're playing, I believe, Elkins tonight. They beat Shadow Creek Ranch for the first time last week. Right. They've got a strong record, 3-1 right now. So they they beat Shadow Creek. They are really in line to go out and win the district championship this year. And so, hopefully maybe we'll see you down here in Pearland sometime. But thank you for joining us, Randy. Absolutely. We appreciate your support, and we look forward to having you back soon.
Sounds good. Yeah, matter of fact, we televised that game on Channel 2 last Thursday. A week ago Thursday, we went prime time on a couple of back-to-back weeks, and that game was our second primetime game. It was a great game and two really good programs. Hopefully both Shadow Creek and Pearland will be on their way to the playoffs, and hopefully the Astros will be doing the same thing here at some point this weekend. Get that ticket punched. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Randy. Have a good night.
All right, thanks for joining us. Go have some fun watching the football. So, all right, that was Randy. So that was awesome. Thank you for joining us once again. Sorry for having to go back and forth with the technology issues there, and thank you for being patient with everything. But, guys, we are the Locked On Astros podcast, and we broadcast after every game, and we're definitely going to be doing it throughout the postseason. Hopefully it's a deep run in the playoffs, and the Astros have a way of turning it on, and I just think that the Astros will turn it on. It's just a matter of when. So hopefully it's a matter of right now, will they find a way to just get into the postseason, and they're in the driver's seat. All they've got to do is win. If they win, they control their own destiny. If they lose, then they have to rely on the Rangers, and it's like, what do you want to do? What do you want them to do? So we're going to do a drawing right now.
Yeah, so if you're in the restaurant, you can hear me. We have some raffle tickets that y'all submitted here, and I'm going to draw these. This is going to be for one of the World Series rings that we're giving away, one of the giveaways here in Houston. And so I'm actually going to have, if I can have one of the waitresses come over here and draw the ticket for us so we can find out who won. If you could draw that for me. I got Kaylee here. Who you got, Kaylee? Raymond O. Raymond O. If you are you here? Is Raymond O here. Oh, he better be. Raymond, you here? If you ain't here, it's going to the next one. Raymond O. Is this Raymond O coming up? That is not Raymond O.
No, I don't think.
Are you Raymond O? Raimundo.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that was very white of me. Raymond O. Very good. Yes, thank you.
Well,
Raimundo. My bad, sir. The way I saw the O separate. I thought there was maybe like an Orlando at the end or something. My apologies, sir.
No.
And because of that, you get not only one of the rings, you can choose which one. You also get a Hooters keychain. You can choose. There are 2 World Series rings over there. If your son is here, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Pick which one of the 2 rings you want, and then, sir, you can get one of those Hooters keychains. The little ring boxes, right? That one, and then there should be 2.
I'm double fisting here, so I've got 2 mics. So what does it sound like?
God. Can't take this guy anywhere in public. Now we got one of our. Yes, sir. There you go. Yes, sir. Thank you, Raimundo. I apologize for completely butchering your name.
No, don't worry.
Thank you so much.
Raymond.
Yeah. Well, I saw the O, and I would thought that was the O was your last name.
No, it's okay. Don't worry.
Hey,
Very much.
yes, sir. My pleasure. Go Stros. Hey, buddy. Hey, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, okay? Check us out. All right. But, yeah, seriously, I'm excited about tonight. I'm excited about this 3-game series. I want to thank Megan here at the Pearland Hooters, all the Hooters girls. They've actually been one of our sponsors this year, Eric. We have enjoyed the sponsorship with them all season. We hope the next season we get to do this again. This is our second live show from this location. A great restaurant, great service. Great drinks. Look, guys, if you haven't ordered yet, order the smoked wings. They're phenomenal. Get you a Gentle Benz. It's amazing. So just enjoy the heck out of everything. Because why? Because we're going to watch the Astros beat up on the Diamondbacks.
Yeah. So this is going to be a game that everybody's been kind of expecting. And I think the Astros have been kind of looking at this all season and saying, okay, this could be the key to the season, and Zach Allen is somebody the Astros have faced before, and so Jose Urquidy has a big task ahead of him. The Diamondbacks are out there to try to clinch their postseason as well, and hopefully we can get the Astros games going on. Looks like there's a little bit of service disruption here, but looks Astros game right in front of me. That's all I care about right here. Astros right there, Jose Altuve swinging. He's got a 366 average at Chase Field. So we need Jose Altuve to go out there and lead the Astros. When he hits, the Astros seem to win. So, like we said, Urquidy's, I think the last time he pitched 3 innings. I would love to see him go 5, but the reasonable expectation is see him go 4 innings and just bring in the bullpen. And this is a must-win game. You want to not have to pitch Justin Verlander in tomorrow's game. Hopefully the Rangers take care of business tonight, and you win tonight, and you can clinch the playoffs today. I know there's a chance that you can possibly still win the AL West, but at the same time, you just got to control your own destiny. And right now, like Randy McAvoy said, that Ryan Stanek is off the team right now. He is on the paternity list, so hopefully he's everything's gonna be okay there. But Seth Martinez is back with the Astros, and so the Astros have somebody that can go a little bit longer in the game today. So that's pretty good there. So we'll see what happens. And you have Jeremy Pena batting 8th in this game, and then Martin Maldonado. And Martin Maldonado, even though he's batting 193, he's been doing pretty good lately. So the Astros didn't put their A++ lineup, but their lineup is okay. Chas McCormick's back out there after being hit by a pitch. Brantley's out there. So you have, outside of Diaz, you have almost everybody out there you could want. So this is probably the A lineup. I think Astros fans and everybody here at Hooters would probably agree. We want to see Yainer Diaz in that lineup. So are we going to do another one or in a little bit?
No, let's do it later.
Okay.
After the first inning. We're about to. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to kind of shut it down here, Eric, for the live podcast. Thank y'all for listening. Hey, if you can hear my voice, you need to go to YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Locked On Astros, and make sure that you listen to us on your way to work, on your way home from work, on Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. It's pretty cool. We're not selling anything. We're not selling you solar panels or insurance. You just have to listen to us, and it's free and easy to listen to on any podcast medium. I'm H-Town Wheelhouse here with Locked On Astros. He is Eric the Man Heisman, and we are your only daily Astros podcast for a second straight year, 1.3 million downloads, and we hit our record from last year, and we're going to break through that and watch the Astros go to another
Where's
World
our
Series.
sponsor?
Our sponsor is Hooters. Why? Because Hooters makes you happy.
All right, so come check them out in Pearland. This is always a great place to come hang out and watch the Astros game, which is what we're about to do. So we'll see you next time, and go Stros.